Welcome to the 7th episode of Knits and Pieces. I'm Jaclyn.
I'm Noelle, and this is Zoe, and we're coming to you from London, Ontario, Canada. And today is August the 4th.
Already.
Yeah, so we're actually celebrating a long weekend here in Ontario.
Yeah.
So we've got a long weekend, and the weather's beautiful outside. It's hot. We hope to go for a swim tomorrow.
Hopefully.
So
Zoe's first swim.
Zoe's first swim in the big pool. And for our 3G section today, we've all got our market bags.
Yep.
So Zoe's got hers right here. She's got Sophie in it.
Yep.
Jaclyn's got hers that she's got a nice leather strap on, and Zoe's got mine. So
why don't you talk about
Zoe's?
Yeah.
Okay, so Zoe's is the Toddler Owl Purse. Just a minute here. That is by Craftzilla, but her name is Rachel Bickmore. And that was a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just made out of, the main body of it is Knit Picks Dishy.
Yes.
So it's the mint color and the canai color. And then the little eyes I just made out of Bernat Handicrafter cotton.
Yep.
So it's all cotton, so even if she chews on it,
You throw
it
it in the
actually can
wash.
go in the washer
Yeah.
and dryer, and we just had to make sure it was big enough to fit Sophie in.
Yep.
So, what do you think, Zoe? Oh, you got Sophie.
She's like, I
And
want
there's
the
your bag.
though.
Okay, and then my bag here, do you want to hold that up?
Sure.
Jaclyn? Is also made in Knit Picks Dishy. And it was the color block market bag, and I showed that last time as a whip, and I actually decided not to color block it. I decided
Yeah.
to just actually
One
do it all
color.
in the one color.
It looks nice in the one color.
Yeah, and the only differences when I made it is I made the bottom a little bit longer, so
Yep.
because I think the original was only about this, and I sort of wanted a more solid bottom. Yeah, so I just did that a little bit longer, and then just did the mesh and the handles, and yeah, I mean it's pretty stretchy. It'll fit quite a
Yeah.
bit of stuff in it from the market, and then I just added this little tag here that my husband makes me to put on some things, so it just kind of gives it a nice little finishing touch. So, are you just gonna hold this though?
And my bag is actually the knitted Japanese tote bag by Katie Kissel of Ray and Jean. And I finished it. I had been working on it. It was a whip from last episode. Well, I guess I can talk about it more in the FO section.
Yeah, we'll talk
But
about that a little
I
more
think
in
it
the
turned
FOs,
out
so, yeah, it turned
pretty
out nice.
good. So yeah, like I said, I'll talk about it more in the FOs.
Yep. So that's it for our 3G section for this week, and we're going to move on to admin.
Okay. So on to admin.
Yep.
We're going to talk about our COWL that we've got going on.
So how about you talk about the one that's going on right now?
Sure. So our tea time COWL is still going on until the end of August. And that's you can knit any short sleeved, sleeveless t-shirt, sweater,
Tank top. As long as it's basically short sleeved or no sleeves.
Exactly.
Okay. And it can be crocheted. It doesn't just have to be knit. It can be crocheted.
Yeah, in any type of yarn. So, and then adult or child size.
Right.
And you can put in as many entries as you want.
Yep.
We've got a couple already, so
Yep.
hopefully we get some more in too. But speaking of that COWL, we actually have some of the prize picked up.
Okay.
So, show it now. So Mom picked up a skein of fingering of 80/20 sock, right? From Blue Water Fiber Arts.
Yes. And that's a dyer in Sarnia.
Yeah. And this colorway is actually called Berries and Cream. And like I said,
Which is appropriate for tea time.
yeah. And like I said, it's a 80/20 sock, so merino nylon, 420 yards in it.
So you could do a nice little one skein shawl, or you could do a pair of socks, or there's lots of colors in it.
there,
So
you can really see. It's
you
got,
could
like,
even do a two skein shawl and pick out one of the other colors or something coordinating with it, and do a nice two skein shawl with it.
Yeah.
You should open it up to see some of the colors.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
So, yeah.
Like it's got like the dark maroons, and then there's kind of a little bit of goes almost to like a pinky color, and then it's got golds in there,
Orange
a little bit
and
of the
golds.
cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Actually, it'd be really nice. It'll make something really nice for fall.
Yeah. So I'll
So
just show her card. Like I said, Blue Water Fiber Arts.
in Sarnia.
Inside.
Yeah, and she does have, I do believe she has an Etsy shop. Does it say on there?
Yep, Etsy.com, Blue Water Fiber Arts.
Yep, so you can look it up in there. Or she does sell her yarn at Heaven is Handmade in Sarnia.
In Sarnia.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice. And then, I'll let you do this.
Okay.
You're better at that than I am. To go with that, we're going to have some tea, but we don't have the tea picked out
Not yet.
quite yet. But Mom also has done a tea towel, and it's kind of in the coordinating colors as the stain that you chose. But it's got the same, those burgundies and cream.
Yep.
This one's got a little bit of like a pale kind of green color, but yeah, it's really pretty. So, yeah, get your entries in because this was a really nice prize. I'm jealous. I love these tea towels.
Well, you don't have an entry in there. You can't win anyways.
True.
Okay.
So, you talk
So
about our
that's,
other cow?
yep, so that's for that one. So starting August the 15th, we're going to start a new COWL, and we're going to partner with Codependent Knitters. So that's Dawn and Lisa, and they're also in Sarnia. And it's going to be the Caitlin Hunter COWL. So basically you can knit
Any pattern, right?
Yes, any Caitlin Hunter pattern. And she's got patterns for sweaters, she's got patterns for hats, she's got shawls. There's a cute little baby sweater called the Newling sweater.
Yeah.
So basically any Caitlin Hunter pattern. So that COWL's going to run from August the 15th until November the 30th. So you've got lots of time to do whatever. And even her shawls, there's some that are fingering weight. There's some that are DK. I believe the same with her sweaters. Some are lighter weight, like the Tanya.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have knit the Tanya. It's kind of like a light fingering weight shawl. But she's got some really nice new ones out called Guthrie. And Guthrie's the all over Fair Isle, and she's also got the Tecumseh. And it's a Fair Isle. It's not quite as detailed as the Guthrie, but it's got pattern through it and pattern in the sleeve, and it's a nice boxy fit. So, go and have a look at her patterns and see if there's anything that you want to knit, and you can actually then enter them in both our group and in Codependent Knitters.
But we'll have all the details in the information.
Yeah, we'll put that on the Ravelry page, and we'll talk about it again as we go through the months getting closer to the finish date.
For sure.
So yeah, so we're excited about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for admin?
That's it for admin, so we can move on to finished objects. So we're going to talk about our FOs.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so my first FO is this shorty sock, and it's called Cool Morning Socklet, and it is by Melanie Burkhout, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. So I made a couple of changes. It is toe up, and I did do it toe up, and then I changed the heel. It's got more of a stocking stitch heel in the pattern, but I wanted to do a garter stitch. So it's a garter stitch short row heel, and then I added just a little bit longer in the rib than what they said because I wanted it to come up the ankle just a little bit more. Okay, so you can hold those there. There's a pair of those, and those are done in Yarnbird Studio. I don't know if you can see that. There we go, Yarnbird Studio. And that is Suzanne of Knit Stitch in London, and it's her yarn line. And they're just basically a really pretty soft pink color. Yeah, and they're an 80-20 sock, so they're machine washable, which is nice. And yeah, I think they turned out nice. It only took 0.4 of a skein.
Oh, really?
For the whole socks, but that's my size, right? Like for a size 6 foot. So if you were going to do bigger, it would probably take a little bit more. Yeah, but they turned out nice. So
good yardage for that,
yeah, and it's a really pretty pattern. Like I said, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it just gives a nice little bit of detail, and it's especially nice in a more plain colored sock yarn.
Yeah.
I think if you did that pattern and you used something that was a lot more variegated, you probably wouldn't see the pattern as much.
Yeah. Nice. So more socks.
So that's my first pair of socks. My second socks are just a plain vanilla pair.
That's straight.
So there's that. Yes. So these ones are done in. What is
Turtle Pearl yarns?
Yes, Turtle Pearl yarns, and I think it's called
Turtle Toes?
Yeah, Striped Turtle Toes. So those ones are, I believe they're are they 75-25?
75-25.
So they're 75-25. So I actually found that those are the yarn's just a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
So I did it on a 2mm needle. I usually do socks on a 2.25, but because that was a little bit thinner yarn, I did it on a 2.0, and it just gives a little bit nicer fabric. in the sock. And those are just a plain vanilla. So I did a 2x2 rib at the top, plain vanilla. I did an afterthought heel. So basically, you do the whole sock, the toe, and then you go back and do the heel. It's the Afterthought Heel by Susan B. Anderson, but I actually used the Kirby Werby tutorial that shows you how to cut it. So instead of doing the waist yarn, I put in my little lifelines and then I cut before I put in the heel. But remember, you only have to cut one stitch, right? And then you unravel and then put in the heel. Yep.
Nice.
So, and those are probably for
Somebody's
Mark
birthday?
for his birthday. We won't see this till after his
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
So those are for my son for his birthday. So it takes a lot longer when the socks I just showed you, which are like a socks
Well, they were
for like a
shorty
lady
socks
size
and,
6
yeah,
and
smaller
shorties.
size, yeah.
And then these are for a men's size 10 and a half.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the leg a little bit longer to use as much yarn as I could. So
A little
yeah, they took
longer.
considerably longer.
Yeah.
So I actually got them finished the one night Hey Sister podcast. Did you see that Saturday Sockathon?
I saw it posted after. I
Okay,
didn't
so it was
see.
a Saturday Sockathon about 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, it's a Sockathon, I can finish this
Gotta get
sock, and I
done.
stayed up and got them finished then.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
okay, and I have one more pair of socks.
More socks.
One more pair of socks. Okay, so these ones these are the Galliano sock, and that's by Tracy Miller of Grocery Girls.
Yep.
So these are done in Leo and Roxy, and it's Leo and Roxy, they're 80-20 sock base, and that color is called Baby Cakes, and it's like a really soft off-white, and it's got a lot of pastels going through it, like the aqua and a little bit of pink, and you can see tiny little bits of yellow in it.
This isn't the right one, is it?
It's not that's just
It's a label,
the
but
label,
not
but not the color.
Not the color.
Yeah, the color is
That's
Baby
self-striping.
Cakes.
It's not.
And again, I
Right
did
on.
change it a little bit. This heel it's a mini heel flap and then short row heel.
Okay.
So it's a combination. There's just like a small heel flap, which just gives you a little bit more depth in your heel.
Yeah.
And then the garter stitch
The heel.
German short row heel.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice when you do that kind of a heel too, because you're doing it as you do the sock.
Yep.
And then when you get cast off, you're done the sock. You don't have to go back like you do with the afterthought
Yeah.
heel and put in a heel.
I like the garter stitch heel.
Yeah, I like it
It's
too.
Squishy.
Yeah, it feels squishy, and it does. Like once you've worn it a while, it's not like it takes up a whole lot more room in your shoe. Like it
Yeah.
kind of gets pressed down, but it does feel nice and soft and squishy, and it gives just a little bit more, a little bit more detail in
Yeah.
the sock.
I like the pattern.
So yeah, I really like the pattern. So it's got some eyelets going up the side and some cable
Cables,
detail
yeah.
in the middle, and I love doing a sock that's got like a pattern because it's easy to keep track of where you are and how many rows that you've done. You don't have to keep counting them
Yep.
because you know where you are from the
Yep.
pattern. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so that's my third pair of socks.
Is that all the socks?
That's all the socks. So, now how about you? Do you have it?
I have one FO.
Okay, well that's good.
Which I've already showed, obviously.
At the beginning, yeah,
yeah, so-
but you can tell us about it a little bit
So
more.
it's my Japanese tote bag by Katie Kissel,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah, that's pretty.
And I
It's a
think
good size.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a good size, and I think it turned out pretty well.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's all getting in the shot, so we'll insert maybe a picture. If not, but for the strap, you had bought me a strap
Mhm.
from Fabricland,
Mhm.
right? But when I finally got it all stitched up together, it was just way too long strap. The bag would have been almost down
Yeah.
to the
Well, I
down
didn't
to the
realize that
floor.
like the bag's quite a good size. I didn't realize the bag was going to be as big as it is.
So right now, just as like a makeshift handle
yeah.
for now, I've just actually taken this off another purse because it's actually just got a clasp
Yeah.
that I taken it off. But I think that what I might do is look for, you can get kind of like rings,
The D rings.
the D rings,
Mhm.
and I might just like sew this over the ring,
Right.
So it just has a little bit more support.
Yep. Well,
here.
and we've got strips of leather at home. Like I can ask Dad if he can
Just maybe like a
figure
shorter
something.
strap.
Yeah, make a shorter strap that you
Yeah.
can sew right around the D ring.
Yeah.
So that, because you don't really need to make it adjustable. Like you can make it the length you want, and
Yeah, I don't think, because like I said, I don't think it needs to be even this much. I think is almost
Long.
too much
Yeah.
strap because the bag itself is
It's quite
so
big,
long.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
nice,
I
I
really
like
like
it.
the way it turned out.
yeah,
So
it feels nice too.
yeah, I think that I might end up doing. I'll show in my acquisitions, but some more bags
Yeah.
maybe for gifts for people.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah, and
my
I like
info.
and I like the feel of it. And the
Yeah, it
D
does
ring
feel
might be
nice.
nice if you can find something that hooks around it, because then you could maybe take the handle off if you wanted to wash the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
if you could find something like with a snap or something that you snapped around it, so you could take the handle off. And then just wash the
the
bag.
bag, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, very nice.
I have an FO this
There
time.
you go. There you go. Okay, so my next FO is this little hat.
Oh, that's so cute.
So this is called Beloved, and it is by Tin Can Knits.
Mm-hmm.
And the yarn is just, it's King Cole Cherish Baby DK. It's actually just leftover that I had from I had made a little sweater and a hat for Molly when she was in the hospital.
Yep.
And so that's actually the leftover yarn
That
from
yarn.
that. And actually this is going to be a hat for her, and it'll be nice for like this fall and
yeah.
winter. Yeah. And so the hat actually, the Tin Can Knits doesn't actually have this little curly Q thing on it, but I just thought that was cute.
Cute to
Nice
add
little
on.
thing to put on it. And it's a little bit more secure than a pom-pom, so you can't pull the little pieces of wool out of it. So I just did 2 of them and then sewed them together and put them on the back of the hat.
Nice.
And it'll be nice actually for a hat for a baby later, because you know with Zoe, if she doesn't have it tied under her chin anymore, it doesn't stay on.
No.
So it's nice to have the little strap so that you can tie it on under their chin. So I'll have to make one for Zoe too for this winter. So
I know, she needs another little antler hat because that one she has is
I know, it's
way
so
too
cute.
small
I
now.
know, but that's a really cute hat. Okay, and then this one.
I was to say the one
This
you're
is
wearing.
this
You didn't
is
say
my
that earlier.
this is my Ocean Depth shawl. I think I was just finishing it up on the last podcast.
Because this
and-
is with the stuff you got back from.
Yeah, that Terry
That
brought
Terry
back
back
from when she was over in
Paris.
Europe. So
Yeah.
this one is actually, the yarn dyer is in Ireland. It's Olan.
So pretty.
Okay, and this is their SOCKLET, and the color is called Quarry.
Sorry.
And that's basically, I use the whole skein because I did the garter stitch border at the bottom until the last pop of the minute, and actually when I cast off, literally
only that much
that's
left?
what I had left. So I
Nice.
basically used
That's
every
nice. You're
single
getting,
piece of
exactly.
yarn. Yeah.
The most
And
out of it.
it's like, it's a pretty easy, straightforward pattern. It is by Skibot Garn on Ravelry, and it's a free pattern. And that actually, this pattern would actually be perfect to use up that skein of yarn that we're giving away in the tea time, Cal.
Oh yeah.
It would look really pretty in
Pretty in
that.
that too,
So
yeah.
it's a really nice way to use up if you've got like a skein that you don't necessarily want to do a pair of socks with,
Yeah.
but it's a nice way to show it up and use
As
all
much
of
as you
the
can
skein.
of the
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I really like it, and it's a nice got lots
light.
of and it's got lots of drape in the yarn and put around your neck. And I mean, obviously it's not, it's a summer day here, you don't really need it, but you keep your house cold, so it's kind of nice to have it on in here. So
That's
okay.
all for the FOs?
no.
No?
No, I have a
Another
couple
FO.
more FOs. I'm doing some sample knits for
Oh, right.
for Feather Your Nest. So
Right.
I've got 2 sample knits here that I've got finished up. So
Oh right.
yes. So this first one, I had showed the swatch on the last podcast. I had
Yep.
just done the swatch with the yarn. And you can help me
Let me
hold
pull
this
it
up.
up.
Let me figure out the right side and the wrong side, although it almost looks the same on both sides.
Yeah.
That's the right side. Okay. So this is
Backline?
Bark Lines by Hoagie
Hoagie.
Locatelli. I can't see us here. And it's big.
So large,
It's
yeah.
very big. But the fabric, like if you look at that, the fabric is so so we
Yeah,
can
Zoe
keep
would love
moving
to
with this.
do, yeah.
The fabric is so
It's so
drapey.
nice,
It's
yeah.
so nice. And this pattern is, I really, really liked knitting it, but it is a lot of, if you can see here, if I hold that up, that's knit 1, purl 1, twisted rib. So you're twisting the knits and pearls,
Mm-hmm.
and actually almost looks like brioche. Like if you look at it, like it looks like brioche, and it just, I really like it because if you look at the front and the back, like
It
it's
looks the
almost the
same.
same on the front and the
Yeah.
back. So it's a lot of twisted rib, but I mean it's worth it. The shawl looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
So, and this yarn is Blue Moon Fiber Arts Yaxi
Yaxi,
fingering,
yeah.
right? And it's a combination of yak, merino, and silk.
yeah.
So it's got a ton of drape. You can see the, I don't know if you can see if I hold it up there, but
All
the
the
subtle
flecks in
colors
it.
in the, it's such a pretty color. It's called Bladderwrack on the Rocks.
Right.
Again, I don't really know what that means, but it's like the perfect neutral, really. Like you could wear that with black or gray or
Yeah.
khakis or,
Yep.
yeah, I really like it. And like I said, it's got just tons of drape, and it's a nice big shawl. And
Yep.
okay, so that's a sample that's going to Feather Your Nest.
Nice.
So, and Hoagie does amazing patterns.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how she just
I know, I don't
thinks
know how
of-
she comes up with the stuff, but it's, yeah,
So,
amazing.
okay, so we'll just move that one out of the way. And then my next finished object, and again, this is a sample knit for Feather Your Nest. Hold that up here. So this is,
How about just hold it?
I don't know if it's ISSA or ISSA. ISSA? ISSA.
I'm not
ISSA?
sure.
Anyway, so it's the ISSA COWL, and it is by Kate Burge and Rachel Price, and they are from Spincycle Yarns. And this is actually done. This is 2 colors of Spincycles dyed in the wool. So the goldy color here that kind of, you can see it goes from gold to kind of a browny color. It's called Salty Dog. And then the blues that goes into a navy, it is called Melancholia. So I thought the 2 of them look really nice together, and they just like, it's just really
What is this?
just,
Is that 100% wool or what is it?
yeah, it's 100% wool.
Yeah.
And it's, but some of it's like marled, and then it goes into like a sort of like a more solid color, and so you see all the variations of the color here, but you're only ever using the 2 colors. Like, you're not always switching back and forth from, and that basically is done. It's mosaic knitting, so it's not stranded.
Yeah,
so you're only ever using 1 color in a row. So it works out.
Because there's no like, it's not
There's not like there's
yarn over.
no,
Like,
no, you're only ever using 1 color in a row. And so it's, you don't have to keep track of like holding a color here and holding a color there. Every time you go around, you're just using 1 color in the row.
Nice.
The only time when you're doing 2 colors across the row is when you do the ribbing.
Well, it turned out really nice.
Well, and you know the color too. The color will actually coordinate really nicely with the bark lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all sort of in the same color family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they'll look nice.
Nice. So that's it for FOs?
That's it for FOs.
Okay, so on to whips.
On to whips.
So on to whips.
On to whips.
Take 2.
Take 2.
Take 2 because Baby Girl wasn't cooperating. She did not want to
basically taking us the whole day to record this podcast.
She was not having naps. The second nap would
But my sock whips are further along.
It's true. I'm not much further because she was still a handful, but okay. On to whips.
On to whips, yes.
So my first whip that I've actually got in my hand here is my, I guess, 3x1.
3x1 rib.
Yes. Socks, yeah, although I'm not quite there yet. This second sock, last podcast, I had realized, or Mom had pointed out, that I had not matching ribs for both socks.
You had done 1x1,
and then 2x2.
No, 2x2 on one, and then 1x1 on the other.
Yeah, on the finished one is 1x1.
1x1, right.
And I had done 2x2 on the
right.
second sock.
Right.
So luckily I wasn't too far into the sock, and I didn't want to, but
we did have comments
saying
that you should have just left it, that Mike wouldn't have noticed.
But I would notice, so
I know you would notice.
I couldn't, and I wasn't too far in, like I said, so I ended up ripping it out. It was a little bit sad. There's a lot of yarn barf, but this wool though, it doesn't crinkle too much, so it's not.
It doesn't look very kinky, so yeah.
That bad too.
And it looks fine, and it looks smooth when you've knitted it up. It doesn't look like it's. And you're gonna. I mean, once they get washed anyway, it's gonna be.
You won't even notice it at all or anything. Yeah. So yeah, that is my first whip. But
but you're almost done the rib.
Yeah.
So then you just make sure you switch to 3x1 and
not
2x2 or something different.
Yeah. But these are again my I guess 3x1 socks knit in Blue Moon 5 Arts Tigger
Targy, yep.
In the River Rocked colorway.
It's been a long day. We're having trouble talking.
It is. It's been a long day. But hopefully I'll get these sooner than later for my husband. They were supposed to be a Father's Day present.
Well, realistically, it's been too hot to wear them anyway.
Well, this is true.
So,
but maybe it'll be a belated birthday present if I get them to his first birthday. I still have time.
When's your birthday, Mike?
November. So I got lots of time. They'll be done before November, hopefully.
Okay.
What's your first whip?
My first whip is also a pair of socks.
Of course. You're done those 3 pairs. You have to start another one.
Yes, I have to have socks. You said the same thing. You feel like you have to have socks.
That is true. Because I had been keeping these ones in my sock bag, and then that's why I felt like I needed to be working on socks.
I know.
So
they're just like, if you can't think of anything else that you want to take somewhere, they're the perfect thing just to take. So I always really like to have a pair of socks, at least one pair of socks on the go. So this pair is. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see the design in them. I don't know if I bring it closer. You can kind of see it a little bit. Anyway, it might not have been the right yarn to put a pattern in, but I like knitting a pattern. So I'm putting a pattern in it.
Would you call it a self-striping
yarn? It's not really, but it kind of is knitting like that. Yeah. So this yarn is by, I've got the ball right here. Here's the ball. You can see that. can you see that? The label there we go, Mondem. So this yarn is 100% Portuguese wool. It's a non-superwash. I got this at the Knit Cafe in Toronto. And basically the only thing that I can read on the label is Mondem is a non-superwash sock weight yarn made from fine Portuguese wool. Everything else on the label is in Portuguese, so I can't read it. But it's a little bit more rustic, like if you feel it.
Yeah.
But it makes really nice. I'll take it off here and you can see like the yarn is super like springy and stretchy.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's going to make really nice hiking socks, like for when we go out to the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it feels a little bit rougher, but I think once it gets washed, it's going to soften up a bit too. But I really like the stretch and the bounce that the yarn has.
And what pattern is that?
That pattern is they're called adorable ankle socks, except I'm not making ankle socks. I'm going to make them longer.
Yeah.
And that pattern is by Ellie Putz, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. The pattern, if you go to look for it, does show just a sock with maybe about that much above the ankle, but I'm going to do probably like maybe about a 7 or 8 inch leg, so that it would come up over my hiking boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean there's enough yarn in the ball to do that, so I'm going to make them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice. I'm enjoying knitting it. Like I said, I like knitting a pattern because I can go more by repeats of how much I've done, and I always want to, instead of just getting a row done, I always want to do a whole pattern routine.
Yeah.
So
I think I can't decide because I've got either those, the Tuku
wool socks by Andrew Murray,
or the Clark socks by
Jaclyn Salem. They're both nice. I want to do them both eventually.
I will do both eventually, but I'm excited to maybe do a cable pair of socks next.
Yeah. So. And I had that on my husband made me some new sock blockers.
Nice.
So these ones he actually made out of leftover cedar. So they actually feel really nice and smell really nice, and it's nice to have the holes in it for drying faster. Oh yeah, and he even punched, I don't know if you can see that.
Your like a little initial piece.
Can you see it?
Maybe I can get it.
Anyways, he put my initials in it. It's there, you can kind of see it there. Put my initials in it with, I don't know, he must have done it with the leather press and just
kind of
hammered it down. Yeah. I don't know how all these things get done. I just see the finished objects.
True.
So that's my first whip.
Yep.
And how about you?
So I also have, I don't know if I'm going to show it. This is my Kestrel, my Pamela and David sweater. It hasn't been touched.
Okay.
So it's pretty much at the same point that it was last podcast.
Okay,
so
I know, but you're kind of thinking that you need more yarn. So
I think
it's
I need
more
yarn. So it's kind of a little bit, I'm not as enthusiastic about picking it up to work on it when I know that I probably do need more yarn to finish it. But I want to get working on it still. I don't think that I would have it done for the end of our COWL.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Keep working on it.
Yeah.
So I do
So what's your next whip then?
I haven't finished mine, but I do have my sweater that I'm doing in the Kestrel.
Yep.
And I'm a bit farther than I was last time. So this time I've got the whole body done and cast off, and I've tried it on, and it fits nice. So the only thing really that I've got left to do, that was the back there. The only thing that I've got left to do is the sleeves.
And how
so
long are the sleeves again? Were they like
I think they're about like to here, or like where I've got on.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 balls of yarn left. So what I'm just going to do is just knit each ball into each sleeve, and however long I can go, that's how long the sleeves will be.
Great, yeah.
And the sleeves, I couldn't decide. The sleeves are in the pattern. The pattern is Yarrow by Pam Allen. In the pattern, the sleeves are garter stitch, so it's a continuation of the yoke, but I can't decide if I want to do them in garter or just do them in stocking stitch.
I think you could do either, really.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if I do them in garter, they might feel kind of bulky, because this is kind of like thick.
Feels thicker.
So I don't know, I haven't decided. I might do a little bit of stocking stitch and see how that looks, and if I like it, I might finish it up in stocking stitch. Yeah, so that would be a good sweater to take out east with us, because the weather might be a little cooler some nights, so I hope, well, I should have that finished by the time we go out east. It's only 2 more balls, it's only sleeves, so I should be able to get that done. And that color is called Byzantium.
Yes.
And that is the Quince & Co. Kestrel. And that's the same as you're doing yours, and except your color is the Minos.
Minos, which is like a lighter purple-y taupe color.
Yeah, and this is more like a darker grayish purple.
Yeah.
It's pretty color.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So my next whip that I'll talk about, is my Baldric sweater, which I was talking about. I guess I had lofty expectations when we talked about it
At the very beginning?
No, last podcast. I was like, maybe I'll have it done next
Okay.
podcast. Yeah, no. But I have cast
But you
off
have
the
more
length.
done. That's
yeah,
right.
I
That's
cast
right.
off the length. I don't think I had that done last
No.
podcast. And I've started on a sleeve. So Mom helped me pick up the stitches on the waist.
Yeah.
Well, the waist yarn I already knew how to do. It was more the underarm
Yeah,
where
but that
it
was
already
easy.
been cast off. Yeah. And so I've got maybe like 2.5
Looks like 2.5 inches of the sleeve done, yeah.
So I haven't decided because actually the pattern, once you knit the sleeve to about like 11 inches, I think, from the underarm, you can
Put a
add
pattern
this
on it, yeah.
girder panel like I've got on the side,
Mhm.
and she said there's two options in
Right.
the pattern that you can either do it on like the top of the sweater or the bottom of the sweater. So I haven't decided.
Or you can
which,
not do it at all. It's up
yeah,
to you,
I
right?
haven't decided
So-
which I'm going to do, but
Well,
I think
you
I
can
probably
try.
will add it.
Yeah,
and-
it gives a little bit of added detail,
yeah, just
right?
a little bit of detail, but.
Yeah. And you've tried it on, and the sweater looks
Yes.
really, it looks really,
It
it's a
it
perfect
fits-
length.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And it again, like, it fits you good now, but even if you want it a little bit wider,
And you
when
can
we block
out,
it, yeah, it's going to
stretch
block out a
bit.
little. Yeah.
So,
So-
I'm excited because this will definitely, I know that it's going to be done for when the colder weather
Yes.
comes, right?
And you've still got, this is just your,
This is only my second
the second ball, and
so
you have another skein, and they're, I
Yeah.
think, 250 gram skeins. So you might just be into the next one, but you'll have enough left to do a sweater for Zoe.
for Zoe for sure.
Or I can do a sweater for Zoe.
Yeah. So if you want to wear the
'Cause
both
it is,
this
It's such a pretty color, and
This
that's the
fall.
Cascade
Eco Plus.
Eco Plus, and the color is,
Foxglove.
yeah, it's pretty.
So,
I really like that color.
so maybe next podcast I'll have a full sleeve done.
Well, you'll have it done. You'll have it
At
done.
least
But,
have a sleeve done, probably.
okay. Once you get one sleeve done, though, I find once you
No,
get one, then you
actually,
want to get the
yeah.
other one done to.
To be fair, I probably actually, because, well, I've got another whip
That's
to
right.
show, but I started something else, and that's just the way it is, I guess, and being
Yep.
a knitter. I've learned that, like, as many projects as you have, there's always something else you
Well,
want
that's
to
right,
cast
and it's as
on.
much time as you have. Like, I can just always find more and more things that I want to cast
Yeah.
on. So
So I think I will, like I said, I started something new, but then I had gone back to this, and actually this knit is knitting up pretty
Yeah.
quickly, because
Yep.
it's just in the round. Well,
yep,
on
and you're
the
doing the
Magic
sleeve
Loop.
on Magic Loop, yeah.
And
So
it goes a lot quicker than actually doing the whole body. of the
that's
sweater,
right.
So.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks good.
What's your next one?
My next whip is another sock, because that one's got pattern in it, but I also, if I go for a walk or something, I like to be able
The new
to
thing
knit
is
while I'm
knitting and
walking.
walking.
Yeah, so, but for that, it's a lot easier just to have a plain vanilla sock so that you don't
don't
really
have
have
to
to be
think about it.
thinking about the
Yeah.
pattern. So that's what I'm doing with this. It's just a plain vanilla sock, but it's in a self-striping yarn. And that yarn is from Leo and Roxy, and they are local to basically the London area, London, Ontario.
St. Thomas,
And this color is one of their self-stripings, and it's called Neapolitan. So I really like the colors in it. Like it's got kind of the burgundy and the pink and the
Raspberry almost.
yeah,
color, sort of.
yeah, and then the
I
chocolate.
guess the chocolate
and-
and
yeah. So I really like it. I just do a 2x2 rib to start with, and then I'm just gonna do I'll probably have about a 7 or 8 inch leg.
Yep.
And then I think I'm going to do an afterthought heel because I kind of like the way the bullseye goes when
Yep.
you've got striping yarn.
Yep.
And this is 64 stitches, and I'm doing it on a 2.25 millimeter needle. And this, most likely 64, and this is probably a bit big for me, but it'll probably be for like you or Rachel or Jen or Suzanne or so yeah. So I really like it. It's knitting
Yeah.
up nice, and it's fun knitting, and it goes fast. Like, you always want to get to the next color.
Yeah.
So
I can't decide. I think I might do. Well, I think I'm going to do the Clark socks, and maybe they're
and
they're
they're
80-20 socks.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, this sock is 80-20. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
The sock
it
yarn
was
is
80-20,
80-20, so it's
'cause they do
80%
have-
superwash wool and 20% nylon.
Because they have
They do have
socks
MCN
as
too,
well,
so-
too, right?
Yep.
So
do you have another
my
whip?
next one- Yes, my new.
This is your
My
favorite.
new one. I know, this is what I want to work on. I've got all the other ones that I've started. So I should just like work on something to get it finished, but I'm like, no, I want to work on this one. So
that's nice.
I've cast on the Hipster shawl by Hohi because Mom had done one and I had really, really liked it. And then you had bought the crackpaca, right?
Yes, because I bought it in mermaid tears because I was going to do it in
Yes.
mermaid tears. Yes.
And then I was like, they have it in gray, and I was like, oh, I think they probably do. And
Yes,
then
and they did.
So this color in the crackpaca is called Manly Yes, but I like it too.
Right, and the crackpaca is by Blue and Fiber Arts.
Yep. I can't
And the
remember what
crackpaca was
the breakdown is, but we'll list it below.
It's got alpaca in it,
Yeah.
and merino, but I don't know if there's anything else in it or not.
Was there
I can't
not
remember.
silk in it? I don't know.
I'm not sure,
I'm not
but
sure either,
we'll
but
put it down.
Yeah, we'll put it down
But
below.
it feels
so
amazing.
nice. And it's got like a little bit of a halo, but it's not too much, right? It's not like some of the alpaca I've knit with before where like you feel like there's just fuzz everywhere after you've had it on. So I'm really excited to work on this, and Mom helped me because there's a couple new things that I learned, like you showed me how to do the yarn overs.
Yep.
And then this kind of
The fancy
textured,
stitch, yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So, and I mean, it's not anything overly complicated once you showed me how to do
once
it,
someone
but-
shows you how to do it, and once you do something a couple of times, then it gets that much easier, right?
Yeah, especially when the whole row is doing
Yes.
that over and over again.
Yeah.
By the end of the row, you're pretty much like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand.
Well, wait till you get till the end of the last repeated that.
Oh, I know, because it's only
You
going to
really
get
don't.
bigger, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to,
You better do that when Zoe's in bed for the
Yeah,
night.
oh yes, for sure. And then the only other thing that was new to me too was the garter tab cast on.
Yeah. Well, a lot of shawls, like either triangular or like that one's kind of like it's not really semicircular, but kind of like a half moon sort of shape. They start off with the garter tab, so you don't get like, if you just increase, you might get like that hump sort of thing at the top, but when you do it with the garter tab, you kind of get a straighter edge across that. Yeah. But again, that was nothing that was hard.
No.
It's just someone to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't here, you could have looked it up on YouTube.
I know. It's just, I think I learn easier when like there's somebody else like,
show you,
showing me right in front of me versus like looking at a video. Although, little one's up again. Okay, little one is settled again.
So for a few minutes.
Let's get
anyway.
your next.
So that's
done.
That's your hipster.
Yes,
okay, and I have one more whip, and this one again is a sample that I'm doing for Feather Your Nest, and this one, the pattern, it's a hat, and the pattern is called M Train. Can you hold that up so you can see it? Okay, and here's what I've gotten done on it so far.
And this is what you were saying from Spincycle.
Yeah,
yarn,
it's a
right?
Spincycle yarn. So
Same
there's,
yarn
I
as
love the colors
Yeah.
in this. And this is a Spincycle yarn, and it's called Live Fast, Die Young. I don't know if I like that name. I want to knit fast and live forever. So, anyways, I really like the yarn. The pattern is by someone, let's see here, I know I've got it written down. It is by Nora Hughes, but she does it for Spincycle Yarns.
Yes, yeah.
And so this hat takes one skein of their Knit Fast, Die Young.
Right.
And it is a super bulky, it's 100% American wool. So there's the label for that. Okay, it's called Knit Fast Die Young Spincycle Yarns, and I believe it's a super bulky. It says on the label there.
Yes,
Super bulky,
right.
and it's got 100 yards.
Yep.
So the hats, I've got still enough yarn left here. The hat will be a little bit slouchy, like this when I'm finished, and there'll be lots of yarn here to do a nice pom-pom for it when it's done.
Yeah.
But their yarns, the colors are amazing. I mean, it looks so nice. The colors are so blended together.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think of taking all those colors and putting them together.
No.
But in the yarn, it
nice
knits
when
up
it's
really
all-
nice, and it looks nice.
Yeah.
And I don't really, like knitting with bulky yarn is not particularly my favorite.
yeah.
Like I usually gravitate towards finer yarns like fingering, but
Yeah.
this has been really fun to knit. Although I ripped it back a couple of times because I'm deciding, should I start the crown here or should I make it a little longer?
Well, you wanted to use a lot, as much as you can.
Yeah,
of the
I
yarn,
want
right?
to. I want to use the yarn, and it's nice to have the option of being able to have
Fold
it
the
a
brim,
little, fold the
right,
brim
if you
up,
want.
or to have it a little bit slouchy.
Yeah.
So, but that's when I do these sample knits. I think all of them I must have started over 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure that I
At
get
least this
them
one's
right.
a bulky one, so
Yes.
it's not
Yes.
as much work when you move it back.
Yeah. So that's you can get that yarn in Sarnia at
Feather
Feather
Nest.
Nest. So that is my last. So now we're going to move on to
acquisitions.
acquisitions. So we're on to acquisitions. We've both
Finally,
got
our last
a glass
section.
of wine here.
Not
so
really our last section,
not
but
really our last.
the way we film it with baby girls parts usually.
That's right. Her parts get filmed first. So even though you might see her after this, she's really already in bed, and we're not drinking wine and then putting her to bed.
But we just have acquisitions left,
yeah,
right?
this is our last section is acquisition. So, Jaclyn, do you have anything?
Sure. So, like I had said before, when I made the Japanese tote bags, I bought 2 more colors. I have 2 more balls because they take
2 balls. Yeah.
Not quite 2 balls to make one bag, but I got 2 more of the Bernat Maker Home Decor Cotton that they're made in, and we got these at Mary Maxim. Actually, I had gone with Mom. Like it was like last time we podcast, we went after we were finished, right?
Yeah.
Because we wanted to look for it just to see if they even had it, and they had it, and it was on sale. So we ended up getting it, and I ended up getting the neutral colors, which you let me take because there was also.
Well, I got yellow,
that,
but I think like yellow will make a really nice. I didn't bring it with me, but yellow will make a really nice bright bag, like even for a beach bag to take like your towel and stuff in.
So I got it in the clay colorway and what's the blue called?
It's up there. Steel blue.
Steel blue, yeah.
And I got 2 steel blue and 2 yellow. Actually, they've got that on the label.
The yellow color.
Yeah, you can see the. Yeah. The yellow's a nice bright yellow. Actually, it's pretty much close to the color that my fringe bag is.
Yeah.
The yellow.
Yeah.
So I think it'll make a nice, if you put a nice like dark brown handle or something on it, I think it'll look nice with the yellow.
So those are my first acquisitions.
Okay,
What about you?
I have got some hedgehog fibers. So this is hedgehog fibers, and I probably have it upside down here. It is their Merino DK. So this feels really nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can tell by looking at it
that
like,
it's hedgehog fibers.
Little bit of, it looks like
hedgehog fibers.
You just know when you look at it. But you can tell because I can see a little bit of the halo that it's going to be nice and soft and squishy.
So that's the DK. So the DK, there's 200 meters, I think, per skein. Let me just find that. Right there.
Yep,
200 meters. But there's 115 grams. So I got 3 skeins of that.
So what are you going to do with it?
I think I'm going to do a shawl. I found a shawl called, I think it was called Meet Me in the Middle. Mm-hmm. Anyways, and I can't remember the name of the.
Oh, this was the one that you already wound up.
Yeah, I wound
right?
2 already.
Yeah.
So I've got the 3rd one. So I've got it set to go, but we'll put the name in the show notes of the pattern. And so I've got 3 of those. That color's called Bramble, and I really like it. It's got like you can see it's got like dark
berry and a green.
Yeah, and it almost goes to a brown, and then it's got the greens in it, and it's got peachy tones in it.
Like
and I think
pale pink too.
Yeah, so I think it'll go with a lot of things. So that was the first color of that, and then I also got.
Where did you get that one? Feather Nest?
I got it at Feather Nest. And then that was, I really like this color.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yes.
It's like a neutral with like pops of color that you don't even like.
You don't even notice till you look through the bulb. So this is called Artifact. Again, it's the Merino DK.
It's the same base,
and
right?
so it's kind of like a beigey taupey background, but then you can see there's all pops of like there's yellows and pinks and purple and green, turquoise.
That'll be interesting to see what it knits up like.
Yeah, I think it's going to knit up nice. And again, that's most likely going to be
a shawl.
Another shawl. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's the colorway of that one? Oh,
it's called Artifact.
Artifact.
Yes. Okay, so do you have any other acquisitions?
I do. My husband's looking at me like, what? You're not supposed to have any more acquisitions. So we had a little break in between filming today, hoping that if we went out and came back, she would go down for a nap. But she didn't.
No.
but anyway, that being said, we did still go out and pick up some yarn. I couldn't resist when they
you weren't
showed it to us.
You weren't going to buy any, but.
So this is a skein of Leo and Roxy. They just came out with Stellina.
Yes.
Fingering weight sock yarn. And this is the color Rose Quartz. And it's kind of
Is it Rose Quartz or I think it's just Quartz? Because the other one was called Tea Rose.
I thought it was Rose Quartz.
Oh, maybe.
But
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, whatever. It's pretty. It's got. We know it's got quartz in the name for sure.
So it's like a really pale pinky brown color?
Well, yeah, almost like pinky grayish mauvey
color.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if it's showing up nice there, but it's really pretty color.
And it's got a gold stellina running through it, right?
Yeah.
Was
that one gold? Well, just let me pull the other one out. Just a minute.
Yeah, I think this is the gold one.
Is that
onto Mom's acquisition?
Well, I got one too. Yeah, I think that's the gold.
Yeah.
But then I also got the Tea Rose Sparkle,
That they have
and
a
it's
silver
in the
stellina,
silver
right?
stellina, and it's more of what color would you say that was? More like a caramelly, sort of like caramelly color.
It's definitely more brown. This is more rosy color.
And that's more rosy. Yeah. I don't know. Can you see the rose doesn't
hard
show
to,
up as
like-
much on the. I think that's pretty good, but
you can
it's
sort of get the sparkle in there. You can see a little.
yeah,
bit
but
of
you're just not getting as much of the pink tones as. But it's like
Yeah.
it's a gorgeous
it's
color.
so pretty.
So I got those two, and then I also got. We had talked to them before about
Christmas
Christmas
colors,
yarn.
right?
So this one is called Son of a Nutcracker. So it's got reds and the greens and a little bit of cream, but it's quite saturated. Like there's not a whole lot of open.
Cream.
Yeah. So if you open that up, you can see.
Oh,
sorry, just have more red sparkles on it.
Another color right in there.
That's right. So yeah, so I'm interested to see how that knits up. So I got to get knitting more of the Christmas socks that I have to knit.
Yeah.
So that one was called Son of a Nutcracker, and that's on their 80/20 sock base.
Yep.
And then my last acquisition, this one that I don't even think they've named yet. So it's more, the colors are really dark, like the green's really dark, the red's really dark, it's almost a burgundy. And there's more of the cream that shows through on that
It's like
one.
a candy cane or peppermint or twist or something.
Something,
like
yeah.
that.
But it's got it more through it,
It's more speckly.
more
than-
speckly all
yeah.
through it. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to knitting these up for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I do have a lot of pairs of socks to
You
make
do.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's
Well, we have one more thing.
we do.
Yeah. So, Canada Day. I told you about those little like felted figurines that I was like kind of interested in doing. I mean, this is another thing I want to do on my list of like things I want to do, but I don't have time to do right now. But I had found this girl on Instagram because I was actually looking for pins, and I know you don't have any pins in your fringe bag, and I don't know if she wants to put pins on her fringe bag, but either way, I found these really cute pins, and they came in a 2-pack, so I decided I would get one, and then you can choose which one you want, and I'll have one, you'll have one.
Wow.
And if I ever get a fringe bag, I'll put one on it.
Put one on it.
So they're two
they're
little
so
alpacas. I'll show you. If I can get it to like focus. It's not gonna want to focus.
Oh, one's got a cactus.
Yeah.
And one's got a.
not want to focus.
You can take a
We'll
picture.
take a
of it
picture and
we'll
we'll put it in.
Lucy, they're so cute, Jaclyn. Oh, and the one's got an ice cream
Yeah,
cone.
so you can decide which one you want.
So
Either one are
cute.
really cute, so I don't really care. But the name of the store is called Wild Whimsy Woolies. And she's got the cutest little like felted like little figurines.
Oh, yeah.
And like she does keychains. And they're so, so cute. Here's like a little, on her card, a little whale that she did. But she's got like alpacas. And I told you, remember I told you she was the one that has like a little alpaca and there was a sloth with a little backpack
really?
and riding it. And it's so cute. But like she sells out of her stuff so quickly.
But yeah.
But I understand because it probably takes, I think she only does like one or two,
But
like doesn't do a lot of them, so they sell out relatively quickly. But the pins, she's got like a bunch of different ones. So she had some sloths and some other
These are so
ones
cute.
because she had like a Toronto Blue Jay. So which one do you want? 'Cause, like,
I don't know. I think if I did the beige one with the yellow, that might show up better on my yellow bag than the yellow one.
yeah. But I thought they were. I
No,
just thought
it's
they were
so
really
cute.
cute, and she had a sale on for Canada Day.
Oh,
so
really?
I ended
Oh,
up
those are
getting
so
them at a
cute.
discount, which was nice, but.
Well,
They didn't come. I meant to give it to you. I was hoping to get them in time for our last podcast, and it came like the day after.
yes, this one is going to go in my fridge bag.
Yes, okay.
And you can save yours so you get a fridge bag.
Yeah, totally. In hopes that one day.
One day.
But that's all for
So
this
is that it for
episode?
acquisitions?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's it for acquisitions.
So-
and we'll move into pieces.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to pieces. And I actually did start a scarf on my loom.
Yeah.
But I've got it all warped up, and I've actually started the weft on it. I probably got maybe about this much done of it, but I just haven't had a chance, but hopefully I'll have that finished up for next podcast. Yeah. And then I'm in London today visiting, and so we went to the Western Fair
the Western
Farmers
Fair.
Market.
Just open on Saturdays.
Yes, yeah.
Market.
And our friend Suzanne, who owns Knit Stitch in London, she's opened up a little like kind of mini booth at the market with different things in it. She's got some yarn there, and she's got some different needlecraft kits and some fabric and stuff like that there. So I kind of got caught up. We actually saw this.
I actually saw
okay.
it.
Jaclyn actually saw this design here.
I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, already done up, and it's just a counted cross stitch pattern. But it comes with all the floss to do it. It
everything
comes
that you
with,
need, right?
Yep, it comes with the Ada cloth. It comes with a hoop, but she had it framed, and it looked really nice.
Yeah,
framed.
I did. Yeah.
So I used to do cross stitch a long time ago, and I think this is 14 count. The only thing I'm worried about doing cross stitch now is my eyes are just not what they used to be. But if I put my magnifying glasses on top of my regular glasses, I think I can maybe to see. This one doesn't look too detailed. I think I'll be able to see to do that. But while we were there, you saw the punch needle that she did.
Oh yeah, she had done a punch needle piece of her logo, which turned out really well. She did an awesome job on it, which makes me want to do more punch needle stuff, which I've been meaning to do, but I just, again, struggling to find the time right now. Somebody's keeping me busy.
Well, I've only been here since yesterday, and with two of us looking after her, like I think I got this much on a sock knit. That's all the time that we had.
Well, you said that you were thinking of converting one of our bedrooms into like a craft room.
Yeah, one of my bedrooms at home I'm thinking of converting into a craft room, and we would basically have all this set up so that it wouldn't be as much work to set it up and take it down, and so we could have it set up all the time.
Which I would love to have, maybe eventually have a space like that, because there's just so much stuff that like I'm interested in doing. Punch needle, embroidery pieces like this. Even like knitting, sewing.
Yeah.
I would love to have a sewing machine so I could do some project bags. Or even like I've seen online some felting. There's so many things that are interesting to me. I just wish I had the time to do it more.
Well, you'll get there.
Eventually, yeah. So I think that's all for pieces this time, right?
And so I think that's it for today. And we just like to say thank you to everybody who's watched, everybody who's subscribed, everybody who's liked our videos. We really appreciate that you come back and watch us. We're having a lot of fun doing it, and I don't know, this whole community is so nice. We're just really having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
So, and Zoe's having a good time too, aren't you, Zoe?
Yeah.
Can you clap, Zoe?
Clap your hands.
No? Can you say bye? Bye. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Of course, she'll say bye as soon as the camera's off.
Yeah.
There you go. Bye.
Happy knitting, everybody.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.